Welcome to the Bearded Banter podcast, where we'll discuss everything gaming. So sit on back and listen up. Get your headphones ready, we're gonna discuss video games, it's gonna be fun. A no time for everyone. Wow!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Bearded Gaming Network is proud to present to you the artsy Gingerbeard, the perplexing I Paradox, the rambunctious Bearded One, episode 24 of Bearded Banter!
I shaved today.
Welcome, everyone.
That was pretty beast.
That was, yeah, I had that, planned right before you showed up. I'm like, I am going
I
to
actually like that.
Beast of an intro.
Mm-hmm.
But
However,
anyway,
I changed my name, but I don't really care.
how fucking dare you? But anyway, welcome to episode 24 of Bearded Banter, the gaming podcast where we have the Curley Brothers as our special guests this week. I am the host, the Bearded One, and with me, as I just said, are the Curley Brothers, Nick and Matt.
Heyo.
What's up?
What's up, guys? What's going on?
Nothing. I'm just I'm in between games right now.
That's awesome.
I don't have any games I'm playing right now. There's a bunch of indie games I'm excited for, but that's probably
I
about
know,
it.
right? So
There's
many
this-
indie games.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, so this may be, this is kind of a last-minute recording, so this may be a shorter episode than most. But we're going to get right into general discussion. I actually have a list of things I want to mention, but guys, do you have anything you want to mention in terms of gaming?
I think Nick should go first.
In terms of gaming, the summer has been pretty much dead for game releases.
It usually always is.
Actually, just recently the Steam Summer Sale started. So
yeah, that started last week, didn't it?
If you guys are into Steam, be sure to get bankrupt on your credit cards and shit, because there's a lot of good stuff out there. Actually, I think it was Borderlands or something like that was 20% off.
Yeah, it wasn't. No, I thought Borderlands was 80% off. Last time I checked, it was $6 on there.
Something like that. They're trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, they have huge sales on the Steam sale right now. Every day they got new stuff up. So, if any of you are interested and are PC gamers, go to your local Steam and buy things for cheap.
Well,
pretty much dirt cheap. They're just giving it away.
Yeah, I saw, because my sister, she has Steam, so she checks the Steam store every day to see what's on sale. Some of those deals are fucking ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's retarded.
I remember, I can't remember what game it was, but it was a relatively new game that was only $3.
Yeah.
I can't exactly remember what game it was, but seriously, they got some pretty recent games on there going for nothing.
The reason they can do that is because they don't have to pay GameStop or EB Games for the payment of the people working there and then the license to sell it. They just take the download and practically sell that.
Yeah, it's basically just the raw file.
Yeah, that's why it's so much cheaper.
Yeah, because they don't have to publish a disc and then mass produce it.
Yeah.
It's all just
exactly.
It's all they can just hand it out digitally and they don't have to do any work for it. All they have to do is keep their
because you don't have to pay employees and truck drivers and
there's no production side of Steam. All they have to do is take the raw digital file and put it up for download.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's kind of what Xbox One is aiming for, but I don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah. Did you guys hear, actually, now that you mention it, did you guys hear about the fan petition for the Xbox One?
No. What's going on?
Okay, there was, in the last week or two, there was a fan petition that was submitted to Microsoft that had 12,000 signatures on it from fans that wanted Microsoft to revert back to the original Xbox One online policies.
Why?
I don't fucking know. So there were 12,000 people who signed this online petition who wanted them to bring back the online check-in and, the use games policies and all that shit for whatever fucking reason. I don't know why. And they just took it away a couple weeks ago.
Well, that's kind of dumb.
Yeah, it kind of took me off guard that so many people, after there was just that, outburst of negative criticism about Microsoft because of what they were doing with the Xbox One originally, and then they finally listened to the fans and took it all back. Now, there's a pretty hefty chunk of people who want that back for whatever reason.
Well, what was it, 12,000?
Yeah, 12,000 or so.
That's not a lot of people, if you think about it.
Well, still, I mean, that's a pretty decent chunk of people.
Yeah, but if Microsoft looks at how many gamers how many Xbox gamers there are, and then compares it to that 12,000, that 12,000 would be like an eighth or something like that.
Yeah, compared to like the overall populace of people that actually are Xbox gamers. Yeah, it's a very abysmal amount, but still, the fact that 12,000 people...
Yeah, the fact that 12,000 people want to make everybody suffer.
You look at the overall scheme, and 12,000 is like not a significant number at all. But when in this context, in the terms of like the bringing the original Xbox One online policies back, 12,000 is a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like a lot of idiots that for some reason want these stupid restricting policies back. And then you look at this, and then you look at original,
Steam's got an online login too, but I mean, like with that, like you log in and then like you can log off, and you'll be like logged in.
For Steam, it makes sense because they're all digital, and I know what.
Microsoft wants to.
Yeah, they were going for all digital
too.
Yeah, they were going for all digital, which is what they were trying to do with the Xbox One. But then they showed all these restrictions and people just don't want that.
Yeah, like that's the thing. They just need to work out the restrictions.
Yeah,
like the 24-hour thing.
Yeah, I heard
it'd be more understandable if it was a week.
Exactly. Like if they would just like expand that time window. It's like, okay, once a week your internet must work. I think I can handle that. I think at least once a week my internet will work. So that makes a hell of a lot more sense than every day doing it.
If you think about it, the Xbox One's going to be $500 when you go to buy it.
Yeah.
Steam, you don't need to buy Steam.
No.
You just download Steam.
Really,
the other thing that would help a lot is if they actually got rid of their entire pay membership system.
True.
Well, that's the only really way they make money.
Yeah, really. That's
but I mean, like
their profit.
Yeah, but if they're trying to reenact a Steam, like, they're going to be getting a lot of money from just getting the games downloaded.
True enough. I mean, see, it's like it's really like two sides to every story. So like, it really seems like no matter what Microsoft does nowadays, people aren't exactly happy with them. But anyway, you guys have anything else you want to mention?
Well, you guys were mentioning Steam sales and how they're like dirt cheap and practically free. Unless you're like me, who absolutely is completely broke and doesn't have $3 to buy a game, and instead you go to like torrent it. You could just be like me and instead play free games. I'm not talking about like the shitty little games that you play at school when the teacher's not looking. I'm talking about like back to indie games. Recently, I shouldn't like really start advertising this now because like I just started, but I'm like making my own game, and it's my first, and I'm an artist, so I'm not the one like programming it or anything. But like a lot of people are like, "Oh wow, I really like your art." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks." Anyways, but like to the point. I was thinking about it, and just thinking about like the future, and if I actually do it, this does actually become like a big thing that I make, and like it gets a lot of popularity. I was like thinking maybe I could like, hey, charge it like 99 cents for a copy. But then if you think about it, that 99 cents turns so many people down from playing your game. Like, I know if there's a game, I'm like, oh, that looks really cool, and I go to, like, play it, and it's like, you need to, like, donate 99 cents, I give up.
Yeah, so it's like this is like kind of like a Kickstarter thing, where it's like...
Yeah.
You have to, like, in order to experience it, you have to, like, fork over at least $1.
Yeah, exactly.
People like us,
which is nothing, but, like, I'm talking about, like, people like me who live in their mother's basements who don't have a job.
Yeah, people like you and I, Matt, who really don't have any income whatsoever.
Exactly. So, like, there's the website, I've been on this website for a bit, I just recently made an account, it's called Game Jolt, It's basically a website for indie developers. So you like upload your game to it, and then people like look at it, review it, and so on. And apparently, there's this system called like the revenue sharing or whatever. And I'm opening it right now. Let me just read it. It's apparently like as the website makes money through advertisements and like just kind of like share like hosting the website or something. I don't know if that's possible, but they're like developers get 30% of ad sharing revenue for their games, profile pages, and blogs. The actual dollar amount per ad impression will vary from day to day as we try to secure the highest paying quality ads on the site. And I'm looking at mine. Apparently the system's broken right now, but I have 1 cent.
Awesome.
And I have been on this website for like a week. So
Awesome.
It's not a lot, and it would definitely improve if you continue making games. But yeah, this website's like pro indie, and it's not like the crappy websites where it's like take forever to load and it's like really bad graphics and like the gameplay is just like something you do in 2 seconds. Like there's those kind of games, but then there's not those kind of games.
Yeah, there's like the time waster games, which are just like do one thing over and over again, like for as long as you can stand it. And then there are the actual like real games that you have to like sink your teeth into with some little bit of substance.
Rated, and like here's a good example. There's 4 games here. One's called Pokemon 3D, which is Pokemon 3-dimensional. Thunder Gun, which I played already.
Is that the indie game where you can run around with WSAD?
It's a different one.
Because there's one where you can actually like run around. It's like third person. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think that's on here. But there's Pokemon 3D Thunder Gun, which is a 2D platformer game where you use a gun that shoots thunder, which is actually pretty sweet. And then like this game called Planetscape, which is kind of like a top-down Minecraft, and it's kind of sweet. You like land on a planet and you're stuck, so you gotta like build stuff. Anyways, but like the thing is like these are all top-rated games because they're really good. But Planetscape, I haven't played it yet because they're like tomorrow releasing a better update. But like that is in development, so it's really glitchy. And then Thunder Gun is already done. It's a really basic game, but like it's fun for the content. But like it lasts in like 2 seconds. And then Pokemon 3D, I haven't played that either, but I can see it lasting like in like 8-hour gameplay or something like they're all different. Like I scroll down and there's ones here that like the graphics just don't work because it's only one person and they know how to program, but they don't know how to draw. And there's like people who know how to, but they don't know how to program. And a lot of people use Game Maker on here.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people who are broke have to go to Game Maker.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Game Maker, I know you can only play your games through opening Game Maker, but can you actually export them as like an executable file or no?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, that's neat.
There's different types of Game Maker. So there's Game Maker, Game Maker Studio, Game Maker Advanced, and Game Maker Advanced Studio.
I only ever use the basic one.
Yeah, I've only ever used the shittiest one too. But apparently it like the Game Maker Advanced Studio, it's like not like the normal Game Maker where you're like drag and drop features, but it's more of like just coding and actually being like full out lenient. You couldn't actually export to Mac on that and like so on.
That's cool.
A lot of people use that.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I mean, you know, if you want to make a game, you got to do what you got to do, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My game, though, I kind of hired some guy for free because, you know, freeware. Same age as me. I don't know where he lives, but he apparently uses Hacks, which is a language that can compile to any other language. So that's why we're like, originally we're going to do it in Flash, but...
Okay.
Anyways, that's all I have to say.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were going to keep going. What is your game about?
My game, it's, here, let me just pull up the page real quick.
I like how he has to look up his own game.
Well, I wrote it like really, like I wrote a really good description. Where the hell is it? I could have just searched it.
I can't explain my own game by myself. Internet, help
I
me.
can, but it's so much better if I read the thing I wrote. Okay, here it is.
Sounds more badass that way.
Yeah, Refrain. The game's going to be called Refrain, and it takes place in the future. So, Refrain is an adventure, apocalyptic, puzzle-solving platformer that was inspired by the plot of the PS3 game Journey, the concept of the Android game Cannibal, and the puzzles of Valve's Portal. In Refrain, you'll be playing a mute character who awakes in a pile of rubble in the middle of a warehouse complex. You're greeted by a flying robot who explains the world has gone to perish and humanity no longer exists, stunning the question, why are you the last human alive? The game focuses on the idea of that technology corrupts the world. This is shown many times not only in the player's HUD, but also in the robot who accommodates you throughout the game, along with some of the tech used in the game, automated doors, cranes, and pumping systems.
Kind of sounds like the plot of Borderlands.
Yeah, but there's no guns, so Refrain won't have any combat. Instead, your enemy is a never-ending storm that spits out acid rain at you.
Oh,
this
God.
This is harmful to all things organic. The overall objective is to get to the other side of the rain. So basically, the game will be taking place in indoor places. So like in the first world would be warehouses. And but like then there would be like the holes in roofs, and then like you have to go to like the next warehouse, and like you would have the problem of there being rain, but you don't have an umbrella. So like the puzzles would be is to trying to get to the other side. So like make an umbrella using like stacking crates or something, or trying to find like another way around, like all that kind of stuff.
That sounds really cool, actually.
Kind of reminds me, if you've ever played like Gears of War 1, and you know where there's like the krill of those birds that come down, and you have to stay in the light, but in this case you have to get out of the rain before it kills you.
Yeah, because like isn't it like razors in Gears? Isn't it like?
No.
Isn't it? It's.
Well, in Gears of War 1, I think it's like the 4th level or the 5th level or something like that. It's called krill. And they're all these, like, weird bird-bat kind of things, and they come down at you if you're in the dark.
No, I'm talking about the rain.
Oh, no.
Like, wasn't the rain, like, glass or something?
In Gears of War? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Because I know what you're talking about. I remember that section where in Gears where you had to make it through the rain that would constantly hurt you the longer you're in it. I can't remember exactly what the rain was, though.
I don't know.
I know it was shards of something. I'm not sure. But Matt, your game sounds really cool.
Yeah, like I have a little image here.
He just needs to get some kind of development, you know, because I mean all the graphics and stuff are almost all done. He needs to get people
behind it.
Yeah, like the guy who I have coding, he said that this is his last priority. Like right now, he's working on his own game. Plus, he's got life and like he's got dick to suck. But, so he's like, yeah, this is my last priority. And he's like, I'm not too sure if I'm really into this game or not. So I'm still kind of, like, looking for developers. And, like, hack sounds like a really cool thing. But if he's not going to be a part of it, I might just have to revert to, like, HTML5 or Flash.
Huh. Well, it's like, I like the concept of your game.
To be honest, it would sound like it's a good, like, if you go to, like, the doctor's office or something like that, pull out your phone and just, like, play it while you wait. And then it would have, like, maybe 500 levels all generated by themselves.
Well,
that'd be perfect.
The levels, I already got the whole idea for it. Like, when I first released it on GameJolt, free, obviously, it will only have the tutorial plus, like, 5 additional levels or something. So that's, like, 10 levels or 7 levels right there.
And then,
but 5 like, plus... Levels. The tutorial plus 5 additional. That's, like, 10.
That's pretty much, like, the entire game.
Well, no, it's not the entire game because, like the tutorial is going to be like 3 levels, and by like they're like big, long, extended levels. So then, like after that, like 2 other puzzles to like kind of get you going, right? And then like at the end, it'll be like oh hey, look, you can't open this door because the rest of the game isn't developed. Come back later, kind of thing. But that's just like for like
it's like a thing like Minecraft where it just updates through development.
Yeah, like that's the like come back for the next part of the story.
Speaking of Minecraft, I know Riley plays it, but you say you only play it on the Xbox, right?
Yeah, I have the Xbox version.
Yeah, well, I have the I don't have it on me right now. Like I have to download it, but I have the PC version. But when I left for a little bit because my computer needed repairs. They were in the process of doing the 1.6 snapshot, which would involve horses and stuff like that. I haven't played it since, but I don't know if they have the 1.6 yet.
Doesn't get it yet.
Nah, yeah, we don't have that update yet.
Xbox doesn't
Well,
get
I know the
updates for,
Xbox
like,
doesn't, but I
years.
wonder if the PC does.
I'm not sure. I heard
Yeah.
about that update. Definitely.
Yeah,
I'm not
PC already has the horses, like the update's already updated.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Oh,
I
is it
know. I
really?
know we don't have that yet. I know, like, we lag quite a bit behind the PC version because obviously the PC version
Yeah.
is like not just highest priority.
Yeah, the PC version updates usually come out for Xbox like 2 months later.
Yeah, they come out a while after, so we still have to wait. But
I
anyway,
don't know why, but Xbox version's always better.
yeah, I don't game on PC mainly because I can't play with a fucking mouse and keyboard. It's like, to me,
I
it's just
can't.
the most uncomfortable control scheme ever. If I had a controller that worked for PC, I would be playing PC games because I've lived my whole life. Been gaming.
It's called a joystick.
Yeah, I've been. Shut up. I've been gaming my whole life with a controller, and like to me, I was actually going to mention this later on. But to me, the Xbox 360 controller is the best controller I've ever used. So to play on PC and to make it comfortable for me to play on PC, I would need one of these controllers that works on PC. I'm actually in the process of getting a couple. But yeah, I would have to have a more comfortable control setup before I start playing on PC. So I prefer console.
Anyways, I just kind of want to finish my statement from before about.
Okay.
Again, I don't want to ramble on about it too much, but we were talking about. Oh yeah, like on the first release, it'll be like the tutorial plus like 2 additional levels just to get the feel of it, and then like it'll be like come back later, blah blah blah. But I plan to have 3 worlds, and by worlds I mean like 3 different settings. So like the first setting is warehouse, the second setting I'm planning to do like a sewer, so there would be a lot of water traps, a lot of like.
And then the last, just a suggestion, the last world or setting should be like
yeah, like the worlds.
like a sprawling city, like go in skyscrapers and shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to do. I was going to do like apartment complexes.
Good.
So, like the first one, you're on ground going from warehouse to warehouse, not a lot of jumping puzzles. The second one would be a sewer, so like there wouldn't be the rain, but because the rain's draining into the sewer, there's the waterfalls plus a lot of water hazards. And then once you get out of the sewer, you would start going to apartment complexes, and you'd be jumping from building to building while trying to dodge the rain. So the last one kind of takes the first one and the second one and combines them.
Yeah.
Plus adds a whole new like setting.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of developers do that, where they take like the concepts from previous worlds in the game, and then like the ending is just everything mixed together.
Yeah.
Like Portal is a great example of that, where they show you the mechanics very slowly and gradually throughout the game, and then towards the end of the game, you get test chambers where like you use everything at once.
Yeah, that's what I want to plan to do.
Yeah, that's
then how
it's a really
how
smart. It's a really smart concept too.
How the concept of Journey comes into it, though. At the end of Journey,
Oh, okay.
Spoilers. Yeah. Anyways, no. When the okay, I won't say it. I'll try to reword it in a way where it doesn't.
I want to play Journey so bad.
Anyways,
I want a fucking PS3.
In the when you finish the game, it does this really cool concept that ties the end of the game and the beginning of the game together, and then like kind of makes it like a game is usually linear, it's beginning to end, right? Mm-hmm. The end of Journey kind of loops it back, and then continues it. But it's just the second playthrough.
That kind of reminds me of Limbo. Or like in Limbo. Yeah, in Limbo, you start off in a forest, and you have no idea like what happened, how you got there, and then you like go through all these different environments, and then eventually at the end of the game, you end up back in the forest where you first started, and the game just loops.
Yeah, that's what I plan to do. But for the second playthrough, I plan to have like in the first playthrough, I plan to have like doors where you can't access at first. But because you already beat the first playthrough, and then like time is still going, those doors are now open in the second playthrough. But then in those, I plan to have puzzle rooms with like Easter eggs or information at the end of them. But in order to finish those puzzle rooms, you have to be playing multiplayer. So you need 2 people to help finish the puzzles.
Okay.
That, however, would be a later thing, like at the very end, because I have no idea how to do multiplayer.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, how are you gonna incorporate multiplayer into an indie game?
Like multiplayer is the most difficult thing to code.
Yeah, I have to talk to the coder about that. So
because you have to factor in two physical properties being controlled at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
So multiplayer's a bitch.
But like I've seen games on Game Jolt where that's happened, but like Game Jolt, like if you like they have code that you can code into your game that matches the website, so you can log into the game, like log into the website in the game, and then unlock like trophies and achievements on the website to level up on the website.
Oh, that's cool.
I want to add like a trophy system to the game, like beat the game, do this, and like
like kind of like an achievement.
But I don't want it to connect to Game Jolt because like let's say I want to like publish it in something like differently, like actually pay for it, because the rules in Game Jolt is you can't charge for your games.
Yeah, because all has to be free.
Yeah, exactly. So eventually, like, if I want, like, I don't want somebody to go download this, like, on the iOS store or something, and then, like, on the Apple store, and then, like, see, it's like, you gotta log into Game Jolt to, like, save your achievements. Like, people are gonna look at that and be like, the fuck is Game Jolt? And then just leave.
What the fuck is this shit?
Never get their achievements, right? And, like, it encourages you, when you make a save system, have it like onto the website servers, so that way like the servers hold your save and they're guaranteed to save. And then like I've seen also games that are multiplayer, but they use the website servers.
Huh. That's cool. So anyway,
that's just an idea for now.
Just that whole like 20-minute just explanation, just an idea.
Yep.
But anyway, since Matt has just finished explaining his indie game, which actually sounds like a really cool concept, and I would like to see it like actually come together, because I'm actually interested and I want to play it.
My current debate right now, though, is if I release like a demo or a tech demo, I don't think I'll be able to make the player feel the actual concept that it would that they would if they have like the entire campaign already set out.
Yeah, for them. Like through that little chunk of gameplay, you wouldn't feel like they would get a feel for what the game is about.
Yeah, until they start getting more into it,
yeah.
And then like you start getting more attached to your character and stuff.
Yeah, but anyway, so I have a list here of just general discussion topics I wanted to mention. Over the last week, I've just been jotting things down to discuss. So, I actually have a question for you guys, because the other day I was playing Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic Adventure 2!
Love that game.
Yeah, and I have this question for you guys. What is the worst sound mixing you've ever experienced in a game? Like think of like a game where like the audio is so unbalanced, it's just awful.
I don't actually know.
Games that use the Mario soundtrack, like the coins,
or
like
games that have really bad voiceover.
Yeah.
Like you look at the character. Like let's say, for example, you look at. I don't know. Like let's say you look at Sonic or something like that, right? Sonic has like a very like kind of high pitchy kind of voice, right?
Yeah.
But it's either his voice kind of lags behind his lip movement, or his voice is completely different. Like, hey, like really deep.
For me, it's Sonic Adventure 2 because I was playing it the other day, and I swear to God, the sound mixing in that game is awful. Not just because of like bad lip syncing, but also because the music is way too fucking loud all the time.
Yeah.
Like, every single cutscene, I can never hear the dialogue because of how fucking loud the music is. I'm like, hey guys, you want me to understand the story? You want me to hear your dialogue? Why don't you fucking turn the music down so I can hear it? Like, that's the worst I've ever experienced.
I haven't played Sonic Adventure 2 in a while, so I don't really remember it that much.
I actually just bought it on Xbox Live Arcade, the HD port, which is really cool. It has some inconsistencies, but it's really good port. But the fucking sound mixing is just awful. I can never hear what they're saying. Yeah. So anyway, another thing I wanted to mention. My internet is kind of like 50-50. Like, going on the actual internet, like going online, it has no problems, but downloading is a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I have no hiccups or anything when I'm actually on like a website or watching a video or anything. But when I try to download something, it likes to take 5 years to download anything. So I want to ask you guys, what are your opinions on long download times? For like, let's say you buy like a digital game, like an arcade game on Xbox Live, or like a game on demand that's like could be several gigs, and it takes hours upon hours to download. What do you guys think?
That actually recently happened to me. I'll go first. I tried re-downloading MapleStory because I was like bored one day. I never actually ended up getting back into it because my internet wasn't the problem. My graphics card was the problem. Don't have one. Anyways, the game's only 6 gig, I think it is. Might be 16. Anyways, it's only because like Terra's like 50. Anyway, it took half the day. It took literally 5 hours. No, it took 3 hours to download it, and then 2 more hours to install it. And I'm sitting here like, this game shouldn't take this long to download. And that's like the worst I've ever seen something download or get installed. Usually, like whenever I download something like off like Pirates Bay or something, like it's like I usually look for the ones with the a lot of seeds, so that way.
The seeds are a huge factor.
Yeah, like that's just like the illusion for me. Like a lot of seeds, like it downloads faster, and then like I don't actually know how fast it downloads because I don't have anything to compare to. Like if I have somebody next to me with a really good internet connection and I have my normal internet connection, then I could compare like, oh, mine's crappier than theirs because the download speed. But I mean, I don't have
better internet than you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like shut up, then.
Yeah, Nick, what do you think?
Well, I was gonna say it really depends on your download speed and your upload speed, because those are both a factor when it comes to downloading. And then, it also really depends on just what kind of internet you have and how big the file is and how many files there are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you guys want to download a lot of stuff, don't go with Bell Internet. Trust me.
Yeah, Bell Internet, like Bell's good for everything else except internet.
Yeah, like I went from Kojiko to Bell. I could download things like triple the speed with Kojiko that I can with Bell.
Me and Nick here have we have local internet, so.
How dare you? I want local
internet. It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Yeah, Nick's
told me it's
pretty good.
The only problem is when it's...
The Curley boys are talking over each other.
Anyways, the only problem I see is whenever a storm rolls through, the internet...
Fuck! I know. The last 2 days, my internet hasn't worked for shit.
Actually, my internet's been pretty good.
My
Kojiko.
Yeah, my internet kept cutting out the last few days because of all the storms coming through.
Yeah, but I mean, like if the place that hosts our internet gets like hit by lightning or something, our internet down for like a month.
If that one particular place gets hit by lightning,
we're fucked.
We're fucked. Guys, I don't know. This is another thing I wanted to mention. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but you know when you're playing a game and you have the controller in your hand, and like you're just playing and playing because. It's like your hands just start sweating because it's just natural when you're holding something for an extended period of time. Your hands just sweat. It's typical, you know? But then all that like grease in your hand, it starts like building gunk on your controller.
Yeah, I usually end up
crevices.
When I'm waiting for something like to download or something, I look at my control. I'm like, so I take a pin and like pull it all out of like, the edges and stuff.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that because like. I've experienced it because both of my controllers are full of gunk. I should actually clean them afterwards. But it's like,
it's like you go to hand one to your friend looks at like, the fuck is this?
Yeah. It's like, because all like the natural oils in your skin through extended play, it just like seeps into the controller and starts building.
Yeah, I've seen people with like flawless looking controls, and like even after they play, like they're like clean as hell, and I'm sitting here like after I'm done playing, it's like all dirty. I'm like,
yeah.
Do you not sweat?
especially like black and white controllers where they like it shows the most, because like I have seen white controllers that are just disgusting, like literally coated in gunk.
I don't
I
really
mean,
like
look, guys,
black.
we
I
used
don't
to
really
do-
like black controllers. Like, not being racist or anything, but it's just like they get so much more grosser than white controllers.
Yeah, because I don't know. It's like actually I have two Xbox 360 controllers. One's red and one's black. The black has more like gunk buildup than the red one. So I don't know if it's like different materials in the actual that they made to use the controllers, or if it's something else. I don't know. I just wanted to mention that because it's kind of gross. And you know, it's just like a thing that I think everyone who plays console gaming has experienced at one point or another.
Yeah, I actually agree with that a lot.
I hear a lot of buzz in the background. What's going on?
Yeah, I do too. I don't know. Here, let me mute myself and see if it fixes it. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not me. It's Nick.
Yeah, it's Nick.
No, it fixes it. You just muted yourself and it wasn't doing anything.
No,
Nick,
I
mute
still
yourself?
on my side.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh, it might be my CPU.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you're on a laptop.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that because I just heard it in the background. Anyway, another thing I wanted to mention. This goes back to Sonic Adventure because I bought both Sonic Adventures on Xbox Live Arcade the HD ports, and you guys might remember Sonic Adventure DX that was released for the GameCube.
Yeah.
Yeah. The HD re-release of Sonic Adventure, the DX upgrade was DLC and it was only $1, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy this with it because I played Sonic Adventure DX. So I remember that DX, it added mission mode, and once you collected all the emblems, you unlocked Metal Sonic. So I thought by buying the DLC, in this day and age, if I buy the DLC, that Metal Sonic would be unlocked right away.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah, because I bought the damn DLC. It's like I would think that everything that was previously locked would be unlocked because I had to fucking pay extra for it. Apparently not. So, what do you guys feel? How do you guys feel about HD remakes with DLC that was from the original game that you have to pay extra for?
Money grab.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, basically money grab. It's a pain in the ass. If it's from the original game, then they should just keep it the way it was instead of having to split it in two.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was $1. It's not that bad. Like, how much was the game when you? How much was the game when you bought it off Xbox Live?
Well, it was during the Sega sale, so the game was only like $2.
Well, that's
I mean,
probably why.
Yeah, I don't think that if it was in the original game or if it was in a port of the game, that when
I still agree though.
When you remake it for
yeah,
when you remake it for today's digital platforms, any previous content that was made for the game, original or re-releases, should be in that port.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if I do have to pay extra for it, anything that was previously locked should be unlocked right from the start. I shouldn't have to re-unlock it.
Halo's getting some new DLC, and it looks really good.
Oh, you mean the championship bundle?
Yeah.
That's the perfect example.
Yeah. Well, kind of not.
Well,
actually, you're right. It is. You're right. It is.
On it.
Yeah. But that's where I keep saying yeah. Let me start. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you there. It does have Pitfall, and I was like, oh, sweet Pitfall. Like, I'm gonna get this because it's like the old thing. But this shouldn't be that much, right? I was thinking
it's still $10, right?
Because I got the pre-order version. You get all the DLC free, right? For Halo.
Oh, you mean like the
the season pass?
Yeah, I got the season pass too because I got the limited edition.
This DLC is not.
It's not in the season pass. No.
I don't understand. The map should at least be on the season pass.
Yeah.
But because they're like, it's a special DLC because there's armor, weapon skins.
Yeah. There's
only 2 maps.
It's not a major DLC. You should at least make it free for the season pass holders, especially if it has a remade map that was a fan favorite for Halo 3. It was one of my favorite maps.
The only reason why they're like, oh, it's not affected by the season pass is because of the armor skins and the weapon skins and the new armor sets.
Fucking ever.
At least make the maps part of the season pass.
Yeah,
that's my argument.
If anything, just make Pitfall and put that in the season pass.
You know what I see this? Yeah, you know what I see this as? Microsoft is like, oh, I got an idea. Let's fuck up everybody else who has a season pass. Yeah. Like, here, you bought the season pass. We promised all the DLCs for you free. Well, guess what? Because it's got a different DLC in it, you're not gonna be able to get it free.
Bitch. But yeah, I think remake DLC is kind of bullshit because
You're going a little quiet, by the way.
yeah, is it?
Yeah, you were.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, I think remake DLC is kind of bullshit because if I rebuy a game that I loved like years ago and I want to re-experience it in a new format, I should get everything that was previously released with that game right up front. But anyway, moving on. Speaking of HD remakes, I want to mention, for whatever reason, well, I feel like if you remake a game in HD, the first priority is to make the entire game widescreen. That just makes perfect sense because you're upgrading it to HD quality. Everything in the game should be widescreen right from the bat. Yet sometimes you run across an HD remake that isn't widescreen; it's still letterbox. What do you guys feel about that? Because I feel that if you put the effort and time into making an HD remake of a game, the first thing you should do is make sure that everything is capable of being upgraded to widescreen. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't really care because it's the original game and the original game wasn't widescreen. Only the graphics are being upgraded. That's about it.
Yeah,
so,
but see,
this HD.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, I have an example actually. The two Sonic Adventure games that were re-released. Sonic Adventure 1 is completely letterboxed. Nothing in the game is widescreen. Yet Sonic Adventure 2 is. But they were both...
probably they're just hey, we can do it with this one, so why don't we?
I don't understand. Also, Nick, you're typing extremely loudly.
I'm only typing normally, what the hell?
Yeah, it's super loud and I can...
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
Type like your mom.
She's your mom too,
I know, but I mean, type like the mom. So that way, you type really slowly and quietly.
Yeah, but anyway.
With one finger.
One finger. But anyway, I don't understand that. I think that if you take the effort into making a game in HD, the first thing is it should be widescreen. Just end of discussion. That just makes perfect sense to me. And the fact that some aren't, it just blows my mind. Really. Nick, what do you think about that?
Wait, sorry?
HD remakes that aren't widescreen.
They should be widescreen because HD remakes are HD and should be widescreen, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me why, if you remake a game in HD, why it wouldn't be.
Can I just take this moment to mention
maybe it's
at
just
the beginning?
Maybe it's just to bring back the nostalgic of the feel of the game.
Yeah, but then my example, the two Sonic Adventure games where one is and one isn't. I don't understand that. Why can't you make both?
I don't know.
Shane.
Yeah.
Can I take a second to mention that at the beginning you're this might be a short podcast. It's been 44 minutes.
Well,
45.
sorry, I didn't realize we would take so much time on each topic. Anyway, moving on. Going back to the topic of controllers, guys, I want to ask you a question. What is the best controller you have ever used?
Xbox, hands down.
Xbox, yeah.
Yep, me too. Xbox 360, my #1 controller ever.
If the
I
keyboard counts as a control, as long as the keys are binded correctly and comfortably, I'm pretty down for a keyboard because you have so much more options, right? Because that's why PC gaming is better.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. I just feel the keyboard kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, I definitely like the Xbox control a lot better because it's designed to fit comfortably in your hand.
This to me is the perfect controller. The 360 controller is a perfect controller. It's perfectly designed, has the perfect weight, everything is perfectly placed. It's just, to me, it's perfect. I don't think they can really get any better than that.
The VCR1's control is like the Xbox 360 control, except it's a little bit more bulky.
I think that the 360 is pretty, the size of it is just dead on.
Perfect.
Yeah. It just
they can't get any better than the 360.
Yeah. And then I compare it to the PS3 controller, which is way smaller and it cramps up your hands and it's flimsy and light, so it's it feels like you're holding nothing.
Yeah.
And then I hold the 360 controller.
Yeah, it's
where,
like they added a weight to it on purpose.
Like it has weight to it, so you actually feel like you're holding something. You have control over it. It's like the size of it is perfect for your hands, so they're not like cramped together. To me, it's the best controller I think they'll ever make. I don't think it'll get better than that. But anyway, also on the topic of controllers, I just wanted to ask you guys another question. Have there been any third-party controllers that you guys have used that were actually good?
For the Xbox, the actual Xbox One, like the first Xbox, I remember there was the big controls and then the small controls. I didn't like any of them. Like the small controls were always too small, and the big controls were too big for my hands at the time because I was like a child.
Yeah.
We ended up getting this control. I think it was like by Mad Cat or something like that. I don't remember the logo on it, but it was like halfway size, and like the grip on it was comfortable. It was transparent, but it was kind of flimsy, but it still had that weight to it. And it was still like a little bit bulky, but I mean I don't really use any third-party controls other than like that. So like that would be my...
Yeah, I just wanted, since I was on the topic of controllers, I just want to ask you guys, because third-party controllers have gotten a lot of flack for being like cheap pieces of shit.
Yeah.
I just personally, the best third-party controller I've ever used was, actually hold on, I'm gonna go get it right now. It's actually right next to me. I'm gonna grab
But your voice has to echo because you're so far away from the mic.
Okay, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Joytech.
I think I've heard of them.
Yeah, well, the best third-party controller I've ever used was a wireless PS2 controller from Joytech. And to me, it feels dead on with the Xbox 360 controller. It's like got the perfect weight and the perfect spatial differences with buttons. And to me, it's a hell of a lot better than the DualShock 2, the actual PS2 controller. And it's wireless. And it actually works really well. So this is the best third-party controller I've ever experienced. But I just want to ask you guys, because third-party controllers have gotten a lot of flack for being cheap and worthless. And I think that if you really look, you can find some really good quality third-party controllers out there.
Yeah, you gotta actually look, though.
Yeah. But, moving on, there's something I experienced in the last week that just blew my mind. Are you guys familiar with Retro City Rampage?
I've heard of it, yeah. Familiar.
Yes, well,
I've never played it.
Yeah, there's a bit of history behind this. Retro City Rampage, it started like way back, like in the early 2000s. It started off as a fan remake of Grand Theft Auto 3, but it was going to be completely 8-bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, the developer, it was an indie game. So, it started off as a fan remake of GTA 3 in the style of like the old school Nintendo games. And it was like in the top-down style of the original GTA games. But eventually, through the years of development, it kind of evolved more and more. And then eventually, the dude just scrapped the entire GTA 3 remake and just made his own game. But it was the same style as the remake he was going to make. And then eventually, it just came out last year. It was either last year or early this year. But in the
early this year.
Yeah, in the last year, it was released as Retro City Rampage. And I actually played the demo a couple days ago. It is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I haven't played it. Like, I usually watch gameplay instead of playing a demo because like downloading things take too long. Anyways, but like I watched gameplay of it and I'm like, this actually looks like a really funny, hilarious game. But it to me, I watched it like a long time ago, like when it was first came out. But like to me, I feel like it would be one of those games that try too hard to be funny, which just ruins the funny aspect of it.
Well, seeing as how I actually have experience, I played the demo. The demo was about 20 minutes. And, well, first off, great job on the graphics. All the graphics looks phenomenal. Really nailed that, like, old-school Nintendo style. And like Matt just said, like, the fear of trying too hard to be humorous, I felt like the game did a really good job with their humor. It's like a really subtle... satire about the old-school gaming days of, like, the 80s. And let me just say, the demo is about 20 minutes or so. There are so many goddamn references in those 20 minutes, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
that's what I mean. Like, the references.
Well, see, the thing about Retro City Rampage is they don't try too hard to just shoehorn like references in. It really makes sense in the overall context of the actual game why those references are there and why there are so many. But I just felt that it did a really good job on its humor, and it was really subtle. And the fact that there are so many references and I got every single one of them, it just really connected with me, like someone who played like all the old school games, like the Marios, the Metroids, the Zeldas, all that shit. So
one overused reference that I kind of hate, like I don't kill me.
Arrow to the knee reference.
I've never played a Zelda, so but like I mean, like I know of like the story and like all the references because just like of all the videos and stuff and like the actual references to the point where I don't actually really need to play it to get the references. But like the one reference that really irritates me the most is, here, take this, you'll need it. It's dangerous out there.
It's
like
dangerous
I hate that reference so much. It's so overused.
I can't remember exactly if that was in Retro City Rampage from what I played. I don't think it is because I can't remember it. But yeah, I felt that they did a great job on their style of humor, and that all the references weren't just shoehorned in. They actually make sense in the overall context of the game.
Yeah.
The actual game itself, it's really fun to play. It's a lot like the really old original GTA games that were over the like bird's eye view, and it controls
it's 2D, but it's like from a side, like it's like
an angled upper view.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Zelda was. Like Zelda, but a little bit more smooth.
Yeah, but in terms of controls, it controls, for the most part, it controls really well. Like, your character, he controls nicely. The gunplay is really well done. The driving can be a little hectic at times, because your car team seems to go way too fast, way too quickly. But other than that, it controls really well. I just had a really fun time with it from what I played. And that was only the demo, so the next time I get $15, I am definitely going to buy that, because it is something that I want to experience for its humor, its really fun gameplay, and just the overall, like, just the throwback to those awesome games of the old school Nintendo era. It's just something that I want to experience, and I want to play through the whole thing and see how many other references they managed to get in there.
Yeah.
But anyway, what do you guys think about that? Would you play it?
I'd play it, but again, I'm broke as hell, and there's other games that I would rather pay for than that.
Fair enough. Nick, what about you, from what I've told you?
I'd play it. It sounds pretty good.
Yeah, next time you guys get a chance...
I'd play it if it was on the PC, because like those kind of games I'd rather play on a PC.
Fair.
I'm not really for... I don't want to say I'm not for Xbox indie games, but I'd rather play indie games on the PC because I can torrent them. But
next time you guys get a chance, either look up some gameplay on YouTube or download the demo on Xbox Live Marketplace. It's
already seen gameplay, and I might actually download the demo. Because,
and play it, and get back to me and let me know what you think, because I usually just don't play demos because like you spend 5 minutes downloading this thing with your internet connection plus the crappy Xbox Live, an additional 15 minutes to still download it. Then you go to play it, and like the demo's only like 5 minutes, and it's like the entire demo is like, oh, you can do this in the game, but you can't because like you need to buy the game. Fair enough, but whenever you get a chance to play it, and let me know what you think, because it's something that I would want to experience all the way through. I just thought it was really well done. Another question for you guys: what is the worst camera you have ever experienced in a game?
Jet Set Radio Future.
Yeah.
Gingerbeard with the Jet Set Radio.
No, because what happens is you go on, like, you go to grind or whatever on the electrical wires, and then you go to spray paint the graffiti. It would then follow the graffiti, right, as well, like it was point at the graffiti until you graffiti it. So then it'll fix the camera back to your character, and you'll be completely off of the line anyway because you'd fucking fall off. and then when you need to go look, when you go to move the camera, it snaps from third person to first person so you can see through the eyes of the character and then look up, and then it'll snap back to third person. It's just such a fucking retarded camera.
I agree with him. It's really like weak. But then again, like that kind of was like just like that kind of helped the game to remember it in your mind. Like it's that irritating factor of it that
it's like the irritating pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I'd have to say for me, the worst camera, I had to think about this, but the worst camera I think I've ever experienced in the game was the original Sonic Adventure.
Oh my god, yeah.
That camera was
Sonic
fucking awful.
Yeah, the Sonic Adventure cameras were pretty shit.
Yeah, because I bought the HD remake, and I was playing it, and I get it was a Dreamcast game, but the camera is just fucking abysmal.
A lot of Sonic Adventure today, Shane.
Yeah, well, I mainly wrote most of these points down while I was playing Sonic Adventure. But, like, especially in a game like Sonic, where the entire purpose of the game is to run fast, when the camera glitches into a wall and you can't see where you're going, and there might possibly be a bottomless pit, I fucking want to punch the TV.
Gotta run fast, faster. Anyways,
gotta go
the
faster.
one thing I really hated about Sonic, though, is when you had to slow down.
Well,
like, it's a game that's meant to be a rush, and then it's like, oh, you gotta slow down here because you gotta find an enemy. Like, fuck up, I wanna run!
Well, it is also a platformer, so, gotta be some platforming.
Yeah, and then you get, like, you're in the process of getting, like, you're in, like, a ring line, just getting all these rings, right? And then you get hit by, like, let's say, a spike or something like that. All those rings that you just got, you just fucking lost.
And then you jump around like a fucking idiot to try and get, then you hit the spike again.
Yeah. I have a lot of experience with that. Well, anyway, yeah, that's the worst camera I've ever experienced.
I'm gonna actually shut you up, Shane, with all your questions and ask a question to you. How do you feel about 100%ing a game?
Huh.
Like, for a good example is I actually played Fez after, like, the last one.
Good.
I actually went and played Fez. And I 100% beat it, but then there's, like, the 200%, so there's the second ending.
Uh-huh.
I got, like, halfway, and I just started getting irritated by the puzzles, and I'm like, I just can't do this anymore. So I searched up the ending of the second. And, like, you said it was, like, a lot better or something than the first ending, but, like, to be honest, it's really not that different.
Well, I didn't say that. Steve said that. Steve said that he enjoyed the second ending a lot better than the first, and then
The second ending was funny.
Yeah. I actually went back and played Fez again, and I went through to the 200%, so I got all the cubes. I actually went through with it, and I got all the cubes, all 64 of them, and then I went back, and I saw the second ending. And then afterwards I texted Steve, I'm like, are you fucking crazy?
Yeah, like, it's good, but it's not good.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed this first ending a lot better than the second. But as actually answering your question, I feel that 100%ing a game, or perfecting a game as they like to call it, to me, I don't find, like, enjoyment out of that. I just want to experience the game and, play through the game how I see fit. But I feel like perfecting a game is just another way to show off to people.
Yeah,
for sure.
Fez, I found, was actually, like, really encouraging for perfecting it. Like, usually, I hate playing, perfection games, like, where you have to perfect it. But, like, Fez, like, I actually really wanted to perfect it. Like, I didn't search up the ending until, like, I really wanted to give up.
Yeah. And then you bring up a really good point. You come across those games where they give you incentive to play the entire thing all the way through and get everything and 100% it. But overall, I just feel like perfecting a game is just another way to show off, and I don't really get much enjoyment out of it.
One last thing, though, about Fez, like, the only thing I didn't really like about getting the 200% ending, sure, it was, like, collect all the anti-cubes, right? But they were hitting really cleverly.
Yeah.
Like, most of the things you saw in Fez, just during your normal playthrough, like, it was like the things that you would look at, it's like, oh, that's just decoration. That's actually not just decoration.
Nope.
That's what I really liked about Fez was the deep concept behind everything and how everything connected with everything.
Yeah. So, like, a game like that, there's huge incentive to go back and perfect it, because everything in the world is tied together and actually means something. But to me, I don't really care.
I kind of felt, well, yeah, I had to like end up, like, there was like so many languages I had to learn in the game, and I had no idea where to learn them. I just ended up going on Google and searching. Yeah. But, like, I felt actually like the world of Fez is like a decent size, but I felt like it could have been bigger.
Really?
Like the purplish area, you felt like you were on the edge of the map actually, because because of the map you had.
I felt,
but like there was a lot like in there, but the one door underneath the tree that required like all 64 cubes or whatever, that
was pointless.
Yeah, if you really want to know what's in there, and you haven't gotten in there, just kind of like mute the podcast for a few seconds. It was just the heart cubes things, and I'm like, yeah, like it was just the heart cubes thing, and I'm like, that's like I was expecting like a portal to a different dimension, and then like a whole new puzzle room just to get like a really funny screenshot at the end or something. But no, it was just that.
It was just a heart.
Yeah, it's just
yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, so I don't get how we got on that topic. Oh yeah, because Matt asked me his question.
Yeah.
But anyway,
back to your question.
Now I have another question. Guys, is there a game that like you either played as a kid or you really enjoyed and you have a lot of fond memories of that you once like really cherished, but now that you're a little older, you realize isn't as good as you once thought it was?
Crash Bandicoot.
Really? That's interesting. I love
because
Crash Bandicoot.
I want to go play it again, and I know Nick likes it, but like I want to go play it, and I'm like, this is a really difficult and really irritating game, and kind of stupid if you think about it. But then I remember when I was like a kid, Crash Bandicoot, like the original one.
Oh yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, we would always play it no matter how many times we died, and if we died, we would just start over and be like, let's do this, because we loved it. And now I look back, and I'm like, this is just so stupid. Like, I don't want to, like, this is, like, you die, you restart. Like, where the hell's the checkpoint?
It's funny because I actually played Crash Bandicoot for the channel, and I had a really fun time doing that. Nick?
Well, yeah, to be honest, when I was, like, little, and you go back to it, and it's just like, wow, really? Like, actually, some games, like Spyro or something like that, you go back to it, and you're just like, really? I like the shit out of this game, but now it just sucks so much ass.
I went back and played Mercenaries 2, and I remember when that first came out, we were like, oh my god, like next gen games, like oh my god, this is gonna be like this shit. And like I went back, holy crap, the graphics are crap, and like the storyline is just like stupid. The cinematics are really like they're rushed and like they're really bad. Like, the textures on the mountains are repeated. Like, I look at them, I'm like, that's just kind of ugly. And then, like, not to mention, like, the storyline, like, there's some missions that are just so stupid and hard to do. Like, in Mercenaries 2, when you had to go, get Ava, or whatever her name was, for, like, a mechanic, and you had to drive her little Jeep, I remember we always had problems with it, but, like, I'm having more problems with it now, because, like, just, like, they make you drive through, like, a red zone. It's like, I can't go through here because, like, there's just tanks, but you have to go through there regardless. You just can't.
Yeah.
Like, games like that, like, I can't believe, like, I used to think that was, like, the shit of a game.
Nick, what about you?
Well, that game, actually, on that topic of what he was saying, when you go to get Ava, you have to go through this kind of mine, or whatever. You gotta do a mission for her after. You gotta go through this kind of mine. And you're driving a really unstable kind of muscle car with, like, imagine a muscle car with monster truck wheels on it. That's basically what it is. So you're going through
and it's not super hydraulic.
And it's very, there's, like, hydraulics, right? And it's very tipply-topply, so it's really difficult to drive.
Tipply-topply.
As well as there's, like, so many bumps, and you always flip your car, so it's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Ah, shit.
But, games, just, like Spyro, actually, I really like Spyro back when I was like little, but then now it's called Skylanders, and they just went completely in the wrong direction with what they wanted to do.
Yeah. Kinda awful.
I forgot what I was gonna ask. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Shane, how do you feel about multiple endings?
I like multiple endings. I think, going back to the topic we were talking about before, incentive to play a game again. If you know that there is a possibility of the game ending in a different way, I think that's really good incentive for people to play the game again. And I really like multiple endings.
I
like endings where you go to choose which one you want. Like, for example, Fable, you get to choose like basically the way you want to end the game.
Yeah, like for example, in Saints Row, like Saints Row the Third, you could either blow up the statue and save Shondi, or you could you could either blow up the statue and kill Killbane, or let Killbane escape and then save Shondi. Like those endings, like I'm pretty settled with, but like ones where you have to like your choices throughout the entire game changes the ending, kind of like throws me off. Like a good example was IB. That's an indie game, like a horror adventure indie game. It was like I didn't even know there was multiple endings until I got to the ending. I gotta sneeze. That's not coming out. Anyways, frick, I gotta really sneeze, but it's not coming out. Anyways, but then I searched up on how to get the other endings. It's like you have to do this towards the beginning of the game, and then you have to do this towards the end of the game in order to do this in the middle of the game in the second playthrough. I'm like, I'm not gonna go into all that effort to redo something like the same exact thing just to like get a second ending that's not really any different from my ending. Like, I'd rather play a game like as if I was in that situation. Like I played the game as if I was an actual little girl with like who was kind of like mute, like she was, in like in a museum that was like haunted and kind of weird. Like I actually played it as if like I was her. I didn't play it as if like, oh, I'm just gonna play it just because I want to play it, right?
Yeah, but I think
I don't want to. I'll let you go after this. I don't want to like play a second playthrough because it's like I'm not playing it how I would play it.
Well, I think that multiple endings, like I said before, are an incentive for people to play the game again. But like, there's two sides to it. There are the games where their multiple endings are really just the same exact thing with slight cosmetic changes. I think those are utter bullshit, because that's not a different ending. You just changed something visually within the same ending and plastered it at the end of the game again. So I think that's bullshit. But games where, like, depending on how you play or what choice you make, the end of the game changes drastically or like goes in the completely opposite direction, I'm all for. Because like, I like to see like several sides of things. So when a game can drastically change how it wraps up, I'm all for that. I would play a game a couple times just to see exactly how they changed it.
Once a game has multiple endings, it can never come out with a second version of the game. Like, I think Fable did it, so it could. But like, for example,
then again, Fable's not that great.
Yeah.
No, like, Skyrim's better than Fable.
Oh, 1,000 times better.
Okay, like, Saints Row did it, because you could always go back into the second ending, but no matter what the ending was, the endings were still similar in the same way. But if, for example, if one ending goes in one direction, and then the other ending goes in the entirely different direction, and it's a huge plot twist, that just ruins up the fandom. Like, the people who play the game and want to spam about the ending, and, like, make, like, stories about what happens at the end, they can't, because they got that, like, there's two different endings, like, there's two different time segments that time could split into.
Really, if you have multiple endings, it's just multiple possibilities of what happens after. Like, it gives it two separate timelines to work with.
Yeah, but I mean, like, from the story point of view, like, if you want to write a story and it's about the good ending, and it's like, yeah, this is like Jimmy marries so-and-so after the game ends, and then they have, like, children, and, like, this is the whole, like, story of their life, and then, like, shit starts to go down after a dragon attacks, right? The people who played the bad ending, they'll be like, that's not what happened, and this is, I don't believe in that, like, Jimmy should have died. Like, then it just makes conflict. That's why I don't really like
Well, really,
multiple endings.
really.
But if it's like Skyrim, where like no matter where you go, it still works with each other, then like I'm chill with that. But I mean, like it all depends. Like Dragon Age, I didn't really like the idea of like what you did then change the entire future of the game.
Well, really, like you have to take multiple endings with a grain of salt. Like, really, it's just the developer's way of showing you what possible scenarios could happen. Like,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I mean,
it's like
like-
I get the fan side of it, where like it ends on like an unclear note, and then people can like predict what exactly happens afterwards. And then there's the other side of it, where it's like canon and you have a definitive ending. But with multiple endings, it really shows you exactly like how everything could happen in multiple ways. I kind of like that.
Well, with Skyrim allows you to kill off any character in the game, right? So like there's I was reading something the other day. I think I was on Reddit or something like that, and someone was like, "Oh, I killed Pathurnax," and I was like, "I didn't even know you can kill Pathurnax. You know, the Greybeard dragon." So he went to go kill him or whatever, and then what happens is if you go kill off a character by yourself, like free roaming in the game, it'll affect quests later on in the game. So let's say you want to do like the normal storyline and you kill like one of the main characters, then you can't finish it because she'll never spawn again.
Huh. That's interesting.
That's unless you do a save in the beginning. Like if you do a save and then kill her and then go back, I mean, it might affect your autosave, but I don't know. I was like actually laughing when the guy was like, he said he did that.
Like when with Dragon Age, I only played a little bit of I think Dragon Age 2, but like I ended up stop playing it because I figured that like you have different options and that's like an RPG or whatever. But like I knew that if I chose kill the character or save the character, it changed my entire story for the rest of the game. And I feel if I did that, I would be losing content. I wouldn't be able to see the full game because there'd just be content that I would be missing because it wouldn't unlock because of like the choice I chose.
Fair enough.
Like in Skyrim, there's like choices like save the hose and then like you get a steady payroll. Or like give the hose to Matt. It's funny because my name's Matt, and then you get like a huge lump of cash. Like that, I don't really mind because it does. The only thing it changes is like what your money flow is, and you can always get money in that game no matter what. But I mean, like things just changes the entire story. Where like killing a chicken in the beginning of the game or not determines whether or not you join the rebels or the good people. Is like that, like things like that. I absolutely hate. I refuse to play a game because I'm missing the content.
Fair enough. Anyway, so let's move on. Finally.
Yeah.
There's one more thing I want to mention in terms of general discussion, and then I have a news story that I thought was really interesting. But I was playing Far Cry the other day.
I was expecting you to say Sonic Adventure 2.
No, I was playing Far Cry the other day, and I was playing it. And I get really into Far Cry. I really like Far Cry, so I really get into it. And then I sat down and I thought about it. And I was like, Far Cry set on a tropical island. You really don't see the tropical setting in many games.
No.
It's a really underused setting in video games. What do you guys think about that? Should there be more like island-based games?
Well,
because
to be honest,
I personally think that the island setting is but Nick, I'm talking, sorry. But I personally think that the island setting is one of the more interesting settings that I've experienced in video games. Probably because of how like lush and colorful it is and how detailed the environment is. I just think it's one of the cooler environments I've experienced. Go ahead, Nick.
Let's go on that topic actually. The most overused like setting for video games is either the desert or the forest setting. There's never any like winter setting, or there's never any tropical island setting besides like Far Cry.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I love like snow levels. I love like tropic island levels. But
I really do love snow levels. Yeah.
You rarely see those because game developers always just use the same cliches over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I think the forest levels though, I'm like still kind of like them. But yeah, like the tropical levels, yeah, like that's why I got hooked into Far Cry because like like the graphics were really nice and like really pretty, and like the fact that you could look in one direction and you couldn't continue looking because of all the foliage. There's an indie game I played a while back called Offspring Fling, and it was one where you were like the mother of like this race, and then like you threw around your babies to solve puzzles, which is kind of how I got inspiration to mine. Yeah, I know, it was really fun though. I torrented it though. I can't find a new.
You throw your babies to solve puzzles.
Yeah, you throw your babies to hit levers and then like switches to like open up bridges and stuff, and then like you rescue them. That's how you rescue them.
Well, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's hilarious
I
and like really
babies.
cute at the same time. But the background of it, like it was a 2D side-scrolling platform, right? Which is the same fucking thing. Anyways, but like the background of it was like a forest, but it was like a dense forest, so you could see like the vines and everything, and that really added on to the game. Like it really brought it out because of it felt like I was in like you remember Avatar, not The Last Airbender, but like James Cameron's Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
Like the forest, like vibe of that, I love. Like that kind of like tropical foresty, it's rainforest. That's it. Like that vibe is my favorite because just like because of all like not because of the scenery, but just because like you, on like 2 feet away from you could be a completely big huge ditch, but you can't tell because there's trees in the way.
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying. Like it's the depth of field that you feel from it that really brings it out. Like, that's what I'm trying to achieve with my game. Is like I'm gonna have so many layers for the background that will be scrolling at different speeds as the player moves to really give that depth of feel of a city. But not just like a normal city where it's like, oh yeah, houses, they're all the same size, but like, oh, over there is an apartment building, and then over there is like a slightly taller like mall or something.
yeah. But I just think that, like, in terms of video game environments, that Tropic, like, island levels, they're just so underutilized, and I don't understand, because they're one of the more interesting locales, I think.
They're the most saturated, I think, like the most saturated in colors. Like they're really, yeah. I don't understand like why they don't use them a lot because like they're really pretty. Like the only problem I had with Far Cry though is the lack of like urban landscape. But I mean, like
I was personally okay with it because the whole point of the game is that you're going crazy on an island.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like okay with it. But like I mean, like if you could have like if there was like a popular city or something. I found the second island really bare.
I haven't really been on.
I felt the second island very rushed as well.
Yeah, I haven't really been on the second island that much, but it's definitely a lot more condensed than the original island was.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there when once you beat Far Cry, there's like really nothing to do.
Yeah, especially if you like taking out all the outposts and like gotten all the radio towers, which I already have.
Yeah, and like with Grand Theft Auto, once you get like all the like areas, and then like same with Saints Row, like once you get everything, you can still fight the cops. In Far Cry, there's nothing to fight once you get everything.
Yeah, because all the outposts are gone, so all the pirates are gone. Yeah. But anyway, one more thing I want to mention, and then we can wrap things up here. There was a news story that came out this week. Really hasn't been a whole lot of like noteworthy news this week in terms of gaming, but the one big major news story is that this past weekend was EVO, which is like the biggest fighting game tournament. Tournament. The biggest fighting game tournament in gaming. And everyone went there. It was great. And then Capcom announced Ultra Street Fighter 4, which is another goddamn expansion for Street Fighter 4.
Them and their shitty expansions.
Yeah. So, and they announced that it will have 4 new characters. Well, actually 5. 5 new characters, new backgrounds, gameplay, tweaking, blah blah blah. And they said that the new characters are going to be Hugo, Poison, Relento, Elena, and a 5th unnamed one. Those are all like Street Fighter 3 characters.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that it can be purchased one of 2 ways. It will either be a $15 DLC for Street Fighter 4, or it can be bought separately as a standalone game. Which we've already... Back when Clism was in its heyday, we talked about it on KGTS, how Capcom just likes to release their games over and over again for no goddamn reason.
Yep,
money grabbing.
Milk the shit out of them.
Yeah, and then like this just came, it's 2013. The original Street Fighter 4 was released in 2009. Like,
Wow.
Why are you re-releasing this game again?
It's like for fuck's sakes, Capcom just released like Street Fighter 83 like Call of Duty is doing.
Yeah. I honestly don't understand why Capcom decides to re-release their games over and over again instead of making new ones. And like in the terms of
milk it.
Yeah, in the terms of this context, where the game is like 4 years old at this point, I don't think anyone's really crying out for a new version of Street Fighter 4. You know what I mean?
They're like, oh, I miss Street Fighter, I want it.
Street Fighter is like, I never really played a Street Fighter, but I mean, like, just like nobody talks about it.
Not anymore, no.
Like, nobody's excited for it. Like,
No.
like nowadays, it's all like zombie horror games,
Yeah.
and like that I really hate.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
those are being so overused, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but what do you guys feel about this? Developers re-releasing their old games again and again, like Capcom is doing.
I find
Well, I mean,
it
for
really,
them,
like,
for
it's just
them
money
it's
milking.
good because they get money, but I mean, for us, it's like, come on, we're bored as
Yeah,
shit
we
over
don't
here.
want this game again. Seriously, who wants another Street Fighter 4? I know I don't. Because
It's kind of like Mario, but like Mario's a lot better at it. Like Nintendo's a lot better at it because like they released like Super Mario, right? But they like switch it up a bit. But like they don't switch it up. They don't switch it up to the point where it's a whole new game, but they switch it up to the point where like it's all like you get your old levels. Like the very first level is always the same in every new Super Mario game, but as the levels go by, they're definitely a lot different.
Fair enough, yeah.
They switch it up, but they don't switch it up.
Yeah, whereas it's like Capcom, what they're doing. It's basically they're just re-releasing the exact same game again and adding like 5 new people into it.
It's like their IT guy is just cleaning up their files, and he like finds like Street Fighter 4 and like the files, the .exe file, and he turns to like the manager. It's like, hey, I got an idea. How about we re-release this so we make more money? And the like manager's like, why the fuck not? That's honestly how I feel like it is.
Yeah, but like, seriously, I feel like anyone who has Super Street Fighter 4, which was the first re-release, anyone who has that version of Street Fighter 4, you have the full game right there. No one's gonna go out and buy Ultra Street Fighter 4, which is the exact same game with 5 new characters and nothing else substantial for $40 more. No one's gonna do that. I get it if it's DLC.
Five more characters from a different game that they already released.
Like, I get if it's DLC, that's perfectly fine. But why are you re-releasing it physically?
Well, like they're re-releasing it like the part of the game because like let's say you don't own Street Fighter yet, right? And then you're like, hey, I kind of actually want a Street Fighter now because I never got the other ones before, and why don't I get this bundle?
And say that at this point, I really think anyone who wanted to play Street Fighter 4 has Street Fighter 4. Mm-hmm. I really feel this is just another pointless cash-in. I understand Super Street Fighter 4. That was actually quite a substantial upgrade from the original. But at this point, it's like the Halo DLC that's coming out. Yeah, it's just all cash in at this point. Because
it's like they're calling it a DLC, but it's not a DLC.
Yeah, it's like there was the original Street Fighter 4, and then there was Super Street Fighter 4, which was actually I can warrant that re-release because it was actually quite a substantial upgrade. And then they released Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, and then they released Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition 2013 version, and now Ultra Street Fighter 4. At this point, it's pretty freaking ridiculous.
Isn't Street Fighter already like an arcade game? Like you would go to the arcade, pop in a quarter, and like, hey, let's fight.
It was like the first.
And then, like,
one of the first arcade fighters. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you die in the first level.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that because I think it's pretty freaking ridiculous that they're re-releasing this game again for the 4th time. But yeah, I think that wraps things up in terms of discussion, guys. Is there anything else you want to mention before we wrap things up?
Not really, actually. In terms of my gaming, RuneScape 3 is coming out on July 22nd, and I'm really not that excited because they're changing the interface and they're making it HTML5. And for people that don't have a good enough computer, they're asking you to play it using a NVIDIA or AMD video card. and they're gonna have like increased draw distance and all that crazy bullshit. RuneScape doesn't need that because it's a good game in itself. But what its developer doesn't understand is that please don't fix what's not broken, because they're just like, oh yeah, this is gonna be so cool if we add this, and it just makes the game shittier.
Definitely. Like, if people enjoyed your game originally, I feel like you don't have to change anything to try and, like, make it better, because your consumers themselves have told you that this game is, like, perfect. Don't change it. And you decide to change it
it's like
anyway.
you're shunning them away, and that's basically what they're doing, because what happens is Jagex, which is the company name that makes RuneScape, they... in my eyes, they basically fucked up RuneScape so much that they had to revert back 4 years and release the game again. Because what happens is they have old school RuneScape, which goes back to what it was in 2007, right? So there's that game, and then there's another copy of the game, but like 4 years back in its heyday. So everyone goes back and plays that because they like the nostalgia of the idea. But then you can't put a different account, like you can't swap your accounts over. You have to start a whole new one.
Huh.
So like the money you make in Evolution of Combat, which is the one now, and the money you make in 2007 old school RuneScape, you can't switch between the two. So you actually have to just start all over. And I'm like, that's kind of stupid.
Well,
which is why
sucks.
I don't play it. I don't play it because A, I started in 2008, and B, I don't want to have to go back and change, do another whole character again.
Yeah, it's definitely really freaking annoying.
Yeah, I would think so.
But anyway.
But I mean, other than that, I'm really excited for November. Actually, August to November are my biggest months for anticipation of games.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
Watch Dogs is coming out.
Saints Row 4, GTA 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
But other than that,
Man.
that's what I like. So
Yeah. But anyway, if there's nothing else to be mentioned,
in
Nope.
terms of my gaming.
yes, Matt.
Anyways, it's just like a game thing I just want to tell you about because I find it's pretty cool.
Okay, last thing. Last thing for today.
Yeah, very last thing. I won't go on like I did with Starbound, I promise. But with me, I'm not really playing any games right now. That's why I'm making my own because I'm bored with everything. But I
think that's a good alternative.
Yeah. Also, when I go back to school, I can be like, "Hey, Mr. Baxter, look what I made." He's our computer science teacher. Anyways, but I found this indie game on Tumblr, just on the edges, and I'm pretty sure it's made by one guy and one guy alone. I'll give you the link there. It's you take SimCity and then take the medieval idea from Skyrim and combine them. It's practically a medieval sim city building game, but it's the gameplay is a lot more the graphics are really HD.
that's really cool.
The
Yeah, I've
gameplay is
seen it.
really balanced. It's really balanced. The whole thing is the whole story is that you were banished from your homeland and all you have is the clothes on your back. So you have to start a whole new development by yourself. So I like what the things you have around you. So you can farm the land and you can fish and you can cut the trees and you can mine, but the more you farm the land, the more the soil gets bad. The more you fish, the more the fish go extinct. The more you hunt, the more the animals go extinct.
So
the more
it's
you cut down
the
trees.
real world.
You could always plant more trees, but the medicine for viruses and stuff can only be found in ancient forests.
Oh my god.
So you could always plant a new forest, but it won't have the things that the old forests did. So there's the whole it's the whole balancing thing. So you need to balance out what you do in order to survive, and then winter comes along, and then you're just fucked. But as far as I know, there's absolutely no information about it. All they say is 2013, and
it's an alpha. You said, right?
Yeah, it's an alpha. There's no place to buy it. There's no information when you can buy it. There's no information how you can run it. There's no information about how much it will cost. Like, there's just no information at all.
I hate people that do that. Here's my game. I'm gonna get you so fucking hyped up about it, and then we're just never gonna release it. It's just like Starbound. Here's what we're gonna do, and this is how we're gonna do it. But we're never gonna fucking do anything.
The only thing that Starbound's not telling us is an exact release date because they don't want to do what they did in 2012, where they gave a release date and never got to it.
Well, if they're gonna give a release date, at least release it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But,
it's just like what Grand Theft Auto 4 was. Here, we're going to give you a release date, but oh wait, we actually have to back this game up a bit because we're not finished it yet. They did that 4 times, and that's what Rockstar is good at, is they fucking back their game up so much, and then they finally just release it like, oh, one morning we're going to release it. It's like, what the hell? Just like the gameplay trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5, they released it like in the like 9 o'clock in the morning like 3 weeks ago. And I normally wake up at like 11, so I didn't even get to see it. And then you go to see it, and it's already like 200,000 views, and I'm like, well, that was just disappointing. But I mean, it's a pretty good trailer, though. I like it.
Really awesome trailer.
Anyways, this game, I'm just like looking like there's like it's not like a blog where it updates every day like Starbound does. Like it's just like there's just like no information at all. And like I go on the Wikipedia, it's just like there's no information on the like there's information about on the Wikipedia, but it's all like put there by the developer, and like it's all like, oh yeah, this will come out when it's ready. And then like you go on the forums and like nobody's on the forum. The only person on the forums is like the dev and then like a few other people. And then like then again, like this guy's like really good at his graphics and really good at his programming, as what it looks like. But the only thing he's not good at is advertising.
You definitely. Last point I want to make: you definitely need that, especially if you're an indie developer. You need a reliable way to let people know.
Throw it on like blogs or whatever, and like it'll fire up itself. Like that, like my game.
Yeah. You need to get the word out, and you need to make sure people pay attention.
You really need to contact an audience to do that, because you can't just throw it up on like Reddit or something like that, because the amount of shit that's on Reddit or whatever, or Tumblr, it just gets so buried with everything else.
Yeah.
You know, if there's actually people out there trying and do stuff, it gets so buried with other bullshit.
This game, Banished, I think shouldn't be on Game Jolt, because Game Jolt's more for like like the new game developers, while like this is like something that would be on Steam Greenlight. But like this isn't even on Steam Greenlight. That's like the problem. Like with my game, I left the programming to someone else because like I can't absolutely program for the life of me. And that's like what I told Nick here. Like I'm not going to use GameMaker because like I want to use something that's a lot more reliable and a lot more like not easy to use, but like just more compatible.
Yeah.
So hire someone else. Anyways, I'm done.
Hire someone else. I like how you said you weren't going to go on, and then you went on.
Yeah, but I didn't go on as much as I was.
Well,
yeah, I think that's it for today.
If there's nothing else, pretty sure there's nothing else. Okay, so if there's nothing else, I think we're going to wrap things up here. Thank you very much for tuning in. I am the Bearded one. With me are the Curley Brothers.
Curley Bros. Actually, put that in the title. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, I'm going to. And we will bid you adieu. Guys, say farewell.
See you guys.
Bye!